You hear that? That crack?
Yeah, chipmunks.
No, a big crack in the woods.
Yeah, they probably are taking stuff off the top of the trees and they're falling on the stick, breaking them.
Oh, you mean the pine cones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're for everybody listening, the squirrels and chipmunks are harvesting for winter. See the leaves changing colors? See the yellow? Winter's coming early. It'll probably be fierce. Just found this old barrier. Not very old, but old enough where you can see, you got some cinder block right there and some, look at that. The rebar goes right through the logs. I heard something crack. My son says it's probably chipmunks or squirrels. He could be right. But sometimes, but to me that sounded, before I started up the film, like a branch breaking. Like a heavy branch. But anyways, we'll come back in 2 weeks or in the spring. That way we can work with this area again. I didn't get a chance to go to Cascade Falls. I'm just making note with everybody. Did not make it to Cascade Falls. I did not finish climbing to the top of Maggie Peak. Windstorm came in. My body, for some reason, had cramps. I guess the chocolate I had no magnesium. So my whole body locked up. And plus we cliff climbed and went to other places, like a volcanic dome. So we made it here a little later during the day, and by then, of course, we didn't make it all the way to the summit, but the views are precious. On the other side of the summit, you can see, like, I don't know, we're on a clear day, maybe 5 to 8 lakes, and what I can do is next time I hike here, I will take a photo and I will label all the peaks for you guys. For some reason, the sun's out very brightly. So you can't even see the mountains right now. There we go. Yeah, it's just the way the sun is. There we go. See how beautiful this country is, man? This was a killer place to hike, but like I said, for a starter investigation, this is a prologue investigation. Our second one will cover some woods on Maggie Peak. So we want to see if this creature, if it actually crosses over Maggie Peak and goes off to Mount Talek, if that makes sense. Sorry, folks. There we go. How's that for you? It's vast. But anyways, I'm out of here. So we'll be back for a second little adventure. But on a good note, we did find some toe impressions. One of them's really awesome. It's like 8, 9, 10 inches across with 4 toes. The other one's just 2 toe impressions, but you could see where toes had touched down. I'm sure these creatures tread a little carefully. No doubt, but you gotta pay attention to these little things when you're hiking, and you gotta look for them. And when you're in a very primitive area, and you find something like that, you should question it. If you're a good investigator, try to debunk it. I don't know. I don't know what has pudgy toes like that and leaves that type of impression. But just go over the history a little. Desolation Wilderness is a congressionally designated area managed according to the Wilderness Act of 1964 to ensure an enduring resource of wilderness for the present and future generations. This is a place where nature remains substantially unchanged by human use. Desolation Wilderness is an area where natural process takes precedence. There's no vehicles you gotta hike in. It says climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into the trees. A wind will blow their own freshness into you and the storms their energy while cares drop off like autumn leaves. John Muir was quite into nature. I wanted to show you guys something though. This is the map of the Desolation Wilderness, and we stood about. Let's see if I can find it. We stood about. Here's the peak we want to summit, Maggie Peak. But we stood. Actually, Maggie's is right there, so it overshadows the lake. But we hiked in from here, so you know we went in, and we'll come back and climb Maggie's Peak. Well, also, if you come down at the bottom of the lake right here, there's some waterfalls. Might be a good area to look for tracks. That's fresh water. Bigfoot would be interested in that. Obviously, fresh water means no diseases, bacteria, parasites, or anything. But get up here, as you can see, if you were to climb this peak, you'd have a view of Cascade Lake, Emerald Bay, Lake Tahoe. Pardon me, Lake Tahoe, Emerald Bay, Cascade Lake, and just many other bodies of water. I have many of the lakes listed on a video I was going to do when I had reached the top of Maggie's, and then I'm like, the wind's coming in, mussels had frozen up. I'm like, you know, we need a second expedition, because today we ventured into 2 wilderness areas. You have to understand, what you're looking at from here on is the Desolation Wilderness. We went up into here, and this area here,
we crossed everything,
is more of the Tahoe Wilderness, as opposed to the, you know, or whatever you want to call it, Tahoe National Forest. Carson. It's not the Carson Wilderness. We're at South Lake Tahoe. Viking Homes Castle's right here, and on the island, if you look, there's the tea house. But anyways, I'm done. Hey, don't
What?
pickpocket me. We're out of here. I gave you guys a little bit of a down low on the area. Get out of my pockets, man. That's creepy. I gave everybody. I'm talking.
I just saw you record all, and you know it. We noticed.
I felt it.
Some people take a knife and they cut it out of your pocket, and then all the loot drops into your hand.
Loot. What loot do I got? I'm a poor paranormal investigator who volunteers for a living to look for the strange so I can educate people. Hey, well, Bigfoot's a science. I don't get paid for this. Loot. He's talking about cutting open my pocket and getting loot. What loot? What? My voice recorder? That's the loot?
This is our mount.
Hey,
We're gonna mount. Run away.
give it back. Please. Come on, guys.
I didn't take that one. I couldn't.
I want to get... Hey, somebody has to open. I'm going to hold it open, you guys. I want to get my snack out. I want to get my snack out and my drink. We're back. So we made it to Granite Lake over at Maggie's Peak, below Maggie's Peak. We also went to a volcanic dome. There's a creek. Whoa, 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 it's coming down. There's a creek we hiked along. It's on the other side of the mountains, actually. We cliff climbed, rock climbed. It was a very safe, it was safe, but it was not safe. I wouldn't say it was safe. I'd say we're experts. So don't rock climb or rock scramble or climb smaller, not huge cliffs, but if you stop, I can't. Don't try this at home. If you're, you know, to be experienced, this is something you have to do for years. I obviously pulled back muscles, leg muscles, and everything, trying to climb the steep side of Mount Maggie today, or Maggie Mountain, or Maggie Peak. So not so much the peak, the mountain itself starts off on the bottom unless you come around to Granite Lake, come around the mountains. It's not as steep to climb on up to the rest of the mountain, as opposed to starting off at the bottom, which we did do. But anyways, check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org, and we'll come back and we'll give you guys some more adventure if you guys like this place. It has potential. We found some strange things. And it's very remote, as you can see. Very remote. There's mountains, multiple ranges and mountains and peaks just visible from different areas from the trail, which, believe it or not, we spent most of the day not on any trails. Anyways, we're getting snacks. We're driving off. It's time to go. Peace. Peace, man. To all my fans, my friends, and all the people who want to clown around. You know, whatever you think, man. But this is what I live for. This is my home. This is my home, and I want to welcome everybody to my home. I'm out of here. We'll be back for an expedition number 2. Maybe coming up in a couple weeks. We'll take on some peaks and more canyons and areas around here, and we'll find that Bigfoot. We'll find it together. Peace.